Life doesn't always go according to plan. Sometimes it breaks you. After a training accident left me paralysed from the neck down, I had to rebuild my body, my mind and my life. I'm Ryan Curtis, and every episode we dig into the chaos that shapes who we become. Before we get into the episode, it'd mean the absolute world to us if you could follow or subscribe on whatever platform you're currently listening to this on. For you guys, it's just a small click of the button, but for us, it's huge to grow the podcast, to get bigger guests on and have more interesting conversations for you. Thanks so much and enjoy the episode. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Made in Chaos with me, Ryan Curtis. Today we're joined by Jen Healy. Jen's work is rooted in trauma, addiction and lived experience, not from books but from life. Jen, tell us a little bit about you and your work.
Oh, Jesus. Do you know I get asked this question all the time and I don't know. I actually don't have a title.
Right.
I do so much that I don't really... I think I've just designed my own way of things that there's not an actual title.
Narrow it down a little bit. Kind of like, what are you passionate about in the line of work that you would do, say?
Well, I know what my purpose is.
Okay, well, let's start there.
My purpose is to activate in people a really strong belief in themselves. I find I'm very good with that. When I'm working, so I teach personal development. I do a lot of soul work with people. But when I'm working with somebody, I notice it doesn't really take long for something to happen, a spark within them, a belief, and they become locked in really quick. What would we call that?
Like, what, you're able to kind of like get them to believe in themselves really early on?
Yeah. I don't get them to believe in themselves so I can teach personal development and manifestation and all. Like, I can teach that inside out, but I'm also an energy worker and a healer. And when I'm working with somebody, I'm also channeling energy. And there's an almost like an activation that happens in people when I'm working with them. So not only a belief in a mindset, but there's like a vibrational change within the person, like an activation, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, do you think, what is the kind of steps that like, do you think that you're conscious about how you were speaking to people to bring that out of them, or is there methods to it, or do you think it's just in you to be able to do that for people, do you think?
So I've come to understand that I definitely channel. I channel energy, spirit through me from source, from another higher place than us. So when I'm teaching, I get all of this information, these downloads, so they're called, like, and just this information comes out, and it's always what the other person needs to hear. If that makes sense, like, it lands really well. Yeah,
because obviously, even going back with me and you, the first few times that we spoke was like really good, you know what I mean, and it really helped me a lot.
Yeah,
you know, so yeah, definitely, like, and you know, because you've been through a lot, like, you've been through addiction, like, you know, like, so much. Like, when do you think, like, things started to change for you internally? Like, when were you conscious about bringing the change within yourself? Do you remember that time?
Yeah, I can remember it clearly. It was Friday the 13th.
No way.
June, Friday the 13th, 2008. The doctor told me I was pregnant.
Right, okay.
And up until that moment, up until that experience, I never really had an awareness of, like, my life, or I was very much, I would have had a lot of trauma. So I was very much in survival mode.
Yeah, like, you were just going through life.
Autopilot, trying to survive, not wanting to be here. I can't remember a time that I actually liked this world or wanted to be here. It very much confused me why it was so painful for me, and I would see other people and families happy and just living like that. From a young age, that confused me. Why people wanted to be in this world.
Yeah, right, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I completely understand where you're coming from there, and It was just like, do you just think that was so alien, you know, you looking at other families and kind of like, not be happy, but kind of have that togetherness, and you are just like, you
Couldn't wrap
couldn't.
my head around it.
Right, okay.
Absolutely baffled me. Couldn't understand it. My little soul couldn't understand it. It was like I'd been dropped from space. I probably have been.
And do you think like that was at that point, you know, was that just stuff that was going on in your life that made you think that way?
Yeah, from early in childhood, there was just like a very severe disconnection between me, my mum, and life.
Even other people outside your family and stuff, you think?
The only one, like, I loved my nanny and my dad's side of the family. Like, I was very close to them, but I also got moved. So I'm from Yorkshire, inner city.
Yeah.
And at 4 years of age, we moved from there out to Blanchardstown when it was literally fields and cows.
Yeah.
But I actually thought you were going to ask me this question today, and it just dawned on me that move, taking me from my safe place into an environment with people where I didn't feel safe.
Yeah, okay.
It caused a split in my psyche.
In what way?
In the sense that now I had two realities. I had my family in town, which I would run back to every chance I got. My nanny, my uncle.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that before, actually.
And then I had my like immediate family. That was very, very difficult for me to be in.
Yeah.
So my mind was split. And then, this probably sounds mad, I don't even know why it's coming up. My mum and dad had two different names. They weren't married. So I had two different names.
Right.
When I'm out in Blanchardstown, I've one name.
Right.
And when I'm in town, I've another name. And I didn't understand that.
Right.
And I was afraid to let my friends in town know I have a different name. Because you don't want to be picked on. And it was like a confusing shame and secret that I just didn't understand. But I'd say 90% of those kids probably had similar situations.
Absolutely.
But I just didn't.
But you just don't think that when you're a kid, and you know, because like obviously I know even with, you know, addiction and my family and poverty and stuff, like I remember like I was so ashamed of that growing up. You know, I'd never tell anybody that those
You
people.
hold it, don't you? Like your little vessel holds that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
dear
So I remember
secret.
just thinking like, Jesus, I couldn't have anybody knowing that there's people in my family on drugs,
Yeah.
or we wouldn't have enough money to do this or do that. You know, I remember thinking that.
You're
but
very aware of it, aren't you? Like you're very aware. Like,
well,
this
when
is
you
not
go
to come
through
out.
it, isn't it? You know what I mean? Because again, like you would look at kind of other people's families and think like, oh, that doesn't look like my family.
Yeah.
Do you know what
You're
I'm saying?
constantly comparing.
Yeah. You know, and there was, again, like, it's funny you're saying that because there was so much shame around that for me growing up.
Yeah.
And then, I suppose, as I got more mature, then there was, like, the shame literally left me because I just realised, like, nobody in this world is a perfect person. And nobody has a perfect family, even if they don't have problems that you have, they've just a difference out of problems.
Yeah.
Do you know, and that's the way I kind of look at it now as a more mature person, and that's why there's no shame in it for me anymore, like, you know what I mean? And it's like been like that a good long time now. That's why I openly talk about everything the way I do, because I don't have any shame. I mean, you know, I kind of think that anybody who would look down at you, look down on you rather for, you know, where you came from or whatever, I wouldn't want anybody like that in my life anyway.
No.
You know, I would never speak to somebody like that, you know.
No. We're very similar, me and you, when it comes to who's in our life.
Yeah.
We've talked about this
Yeah.
a lot of times, that it's very important who's in your circle.
Well, I mean, you pick them, you know.
Yeah.
That's why I don't understand, you know. Understand sometimes with family members, family's family, and I don't mean you just have to have family in the sake in your life for the sake of just being in your life because they're your family members, but you kind of can't change them. But with like people who you surround yourself with, like your circle and your friends, I don't understand anybody who has people who they couldn't go and celebrate good news to, or who don't, like, you know, I clap the loudest in the world for all my friends.
Yeah.
Like, you know, anytime I see them do anything, I'm like, brilliant, let's go into
Do you know, I just had this conversation with Kiefer the other day about social media.
Right.
And I said, I think sometimes people probably think I'm like a stalker. I like everything. I repost everything. And we were saying that's what social media is
know,
for.
but so, like, you
I
know.
like my friends' stuff. I share them. I heart them.
Yeah.
I'm sociable.
Yeah. Well, no, but that, you know, like, why would you not be like that?
Yeah.
You know, I'm like that too. When I see a friend opening a business, I want to be, you know, it's funny, like, me friend, Gay, his name is, shout out NRG Coffees, like the first
Get that in.
and anniversary the other day. And we were up there talking, me and my other friend Halar, and we're all friends. And I was saying, you know, it's funny when you have your own business and stuff, like other people and close people to you and friends and stuff seem to, like, they would probably go up to his business and be like, why isn't he giving me a free sandwich, or why isn't he giving me free this? And I'm like, I want to pay double because it's my
Yeah.
friend. Do you know what I mean?
You
Because
see, yeah, it's different, isn't
because
it?
it's like, I want to support you. Like, I don't want
I
to
don't
go
wanna
to
take.
a Costa and give them me money. Why would I want to give Costa me money when I can give you me money?
Yeah.
And you're getting a great product. Do
Yeah.
you know, like, never understand people who kind of like, now they have people who's close to them and they expect things from their business, or
Yeah.
do you know, I'm like,
Yeah, I hear you.
that's not the way I think it should be. I mean, like, I'm like, I want to pay him double for a sandwich
Yeah.
because he's my friend.
Yeah.
Do you know, to help him and his family and his business.
Like, why would you not?
Yeah. I know, but there's so many
There's
people,
so many people who don't.
Do you know?
And I had this conversation before with a friend of mine. She's a female who, there was a situation with a different friend. I was just giving a little bit of guidance or whatever. I don't really know the other person. She was just explaining. And the other person would take from her all the time and leave her feeling very, like a lack, like empty. And she would still be supportive and trying to keep that, pulling that person in. There was like, and I think that's probably the difference with me and you, not that we're different, big or better. It's just a healed version. And when somebody has maybe unhealed, or they have those wounds, those abandonment wounds or rejection wounds, you do tend to keep people and behaviors in your life because they're familiar, even though they're not healthy.
Yeah.
It's familiar.
Yeah.
You know, when I would have been in a very violent relationship, and people are like, you always hear like, oh, just leave him. Why didn't you leave him? Because you don't know how to. You don't have the skill set to leave.
Right.
So for somebody, the potential of somebody leaving your life or not being in your life is actually worse than having them there, even though they bring you drama or whatever what they're bringing in. You'll settle for that.
Yeah.
Because it's something.
And would that be like a version of like Stockholm Syndrome almost? Or is that like something different?
No, that's.
Is it?
I think that's something. Stockholm syndrome is where you fall in love with your captor. Is that the word?
Right. But it's kind of similar, isn't it? Like
More
where
like
you're
a
with somebody
codependent.
who's abusive, but you just keep on going back to them. Now, obviously, it's different in a relationship as opposed to a friendship.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Some people haven't grown internally yet to find their voice, and they wouldn't have the strength the skill set to implement boundaries.
Yeah.
Because there's still, it all comes back to your worth,
Right.
your self-worth. And when you're really strong in your self-worth and you see and you hold yourself at a high standard, it can be confusing. Like, why is everyone not doing this? Some people just haven't got there yet, or they may not never.
Why you think when they get out of that kind of, where they're kind of living in, like where their self-worth is on the floor, and then they actually get through that boundary almost, and then they're like, why haven't I always been like this?
Yeah. Something will click. And you know when you're done, you're done. And there's a lot of people who just haven't reached that place internally yet. Yeah.
I think like sometimes it's, you know, and I know there's been a couple of times with me where I've kind of like, oh no, that's not for me anymore, or whatever, like, or they're not for me. But then, you know, being more mature now, when I'd say, no, that's done. Like, I'm never going.
Because
you know
we've
what I mean?
learned our lesson.
That's it. Like, you know, because it's definitely a mistake. Is like, they're not mistakes when you keep on making the same one over and over and over and over.
Yeah, there's a need getting met.
Yeah, but I think, you know, that hindsight's
2020 vision, it's like when you look back, it's, you're like, oh, why did I not do this at that time? And why didn't, but I think for me personally, I think you have to go through them to learn the lesson.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, and I
You don't
think
know, yeah.
it's easy to reflect.
Hindsight's great.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It is. It's easy to reflect and go like.
And I always think, like, I learned a long time ago to not put labels on people like, oh, she's my friend, he's my partner, he's my boyfriend, my daughter. I learned a long time ago to just look at people as teachers.
Okay.
What is this specific person trying to teach me about me?
Yes.
And the minute I learned how to do that, everything changed for me. I took my power back, my ownership of my, like, being responsible for my actions. Because anytime I would be blaming him or her or whatever, it was me giving me power away. And it was almost like that victim mentality. So now, from a kind of spiritual growth, personal development view, I always think, what is this person trying to teach me about me?
Yeah.
And even what you said earlier on about like family and having, sometimes we have family who are in addiction and all of that stuff. From a spiritual level, with like your soul contract, you all knew the role that you were going to play coming here in order for each other to grow. So you might have someone in your life that chose a path that you wouldn't have chose. But your soul knew, both of your souls knew that would be the dynamic for you to not go that. You probably did it in a different lifetime.
Yeah, okay.
And it was to remind you and show you and to push you on your growth. Yeah. Because that's what souls do. We sign up to help each other.
Yeah, but I like the reframing there of that though, you know what I mean? Instead of going like, because it sounds like what you just said there, and when bad stuff is happening, you don't go like, oh, why is this happening to me? Life is so unfair. And instead you flip the script and go, oh, what can I learn from this?
Yeah.
Which I love that,
Yeah,
because I try to do that a lot. I do it a lot.
Yeah.
Because again, like I talk about it all the time, and victimhood are really, if people really understood how bad being a victim is for your life, like I think it's nice for people to kind of put the blame on somebody. It feels good to put the blame on somebody else and realise that, or kind of think that like, oh, why is this happening to me? Nobody else is going through stuff like this. But as soon as you have that mindset, you're actually giving the power away to fix it. Because what I say is, how can you fix something that's not your fault?
Yeah.
Because with some people, it's constantly not their fault.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm only going.
We know
saying,
them.
Though?
Yeah. But their identity is so enmeshed in that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I find like a lot of people like being a victim. And I don't mean that to sound wrong, but they get comfort because then they don't have to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To try and fix things is what I mean. Because it's uncomfortable to try to kind of go, oh, well, I probably picked this person. I put this person in my life. Yeah. Do you know?
I remember as clear as day, the day that I realised in life that I am the problem. It's me. No one else, only me. I had a sponsor in AA, and her name is Angela. If anyone's listening that's in AA in Dublin, they will have heard of Angela. She's a very glamorous lady. She's like you with the fur coats, and she dresses so well. She's tough, like brutally tough.
Honest, like?
Oh, Jesus, honest, yeah. I
Okay.
wasn't allowed to date anyone. I wasn't allowed to talk to anyone. I wasn't allowed to get a lift off anyone. I had no man. If she even found out that I was even so much as saying hello to another man, she would not walk with me. She's so strict that, like, this her way or the highway. But she's brutally honest. But she used to always say to me, Jen, truth without love is brutality. And I remember I used to meet her every Sunday. And through the work that I was doing, it was like a bolt hit me in the head, and I was like, I am the problem. Because like what you are said, every week I was just turning up, and I was programmed to complain about me ma and tell the story. I had a story, and I was chemically addicted in my body to telling this story about how bad my life was and
Yeah.
all of this stuff. But she wouldn't let you go there. She
Yeah.
kept blocking it and stopped and showing me. And then one day I was just like, fuck, it's me, Angela, isn't it? Like, I'm the problem here.
Yeah.
I've caused all of this pain in my life. Like, the common denominator in everything that ever happened to me was me.
I know, but I think the more even what you are saying there, the more you keep on repeating that to yourself.
Yeah,
Because
I
you
was
know
like a broken
yourself, you are
record.
what you keep on telling yourself.
Yeah.
So if you keep on waking up every day and telling yourself like, oh, this is everybody's fault and I'm the victim
Yeah.
here, there's no, of course I'm going to believe that.
So
you know
this
what I'm
is
saying?
kind of similar what me and you worked on.
Yeah.
Can
of
we talk
course.
about it?
Yeah, go on.
Did you ever find out how I reached out to you?
True, Kiefer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kiefer sends me a text message and on Instagram he's like, hey Jen, how are you? And I was like, yeah, no, all right, what's the story? And he's like, look, I have a friend and I kind of seen little bits, but I didn't know you. We didn't know each other.
Yeah, of course.
But I love the sports and the fighting, so I'm always following everyone. And he was like, look, my friend is going through a difficult time and I knew about the
Yeah.
accident and all. He goes, like, we're in the gym with him every day and like we'll do it for him, but we can't help him with this piece.
Yeah.
We're men,
Say it to me
like,
more. Yeah.
it's the emotional, I don't know what to say to him.
Yeah.
So then I had to find a way of connecting with you, not
Yeah.
making it obvious,
Yeah.
but also not pushing you away.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because I remember, yeah.
Yeah. And then we kind of had little chats here and there. And then, do you remember when we first met?
Yeah, we went on the drive.
When you
Wasn't
get into
it?
the car?
Yeah.
Yeah. You were so distraught.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, 'cause that was
the pain. I felt the minute you got into your car, I felt the pain, the heaviness in your soul. Like, and
yeah, because
there
that was a real low point in my
that
life,
was
I
a
would
really,
say.
really, and
Yeah.
that's why I think the lads reached out to me
Yeah.
because they were nervous for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it was. I
a bit of
remember.
yeah.
I remember that was like a real low point because I think I was only at getting back from Texas and away in rehab in America, and I remember like even talking about over in Texas, you know, when I used to just wake up every single morning with intrusive thoughts about
Yeah.
like, you're just better off not being here anymore. You know, and it wasn't like I ever planned to kill myself or do any of them things. I just couldn't stop the thoughts from
Yeah.
coming into my head.
Yeah.
You know, and that was arguably one of the lowest times in my whole
Yeah.
life, you know.
And I can say it now, but there was a time where I thought, am I a little bit out of my depth here? Does he need like an intervention or, you know, somebody else? But we kind of clicked.
Yeah, I think
Quickly,
we really
We developed a trust and
Yeah.
back to like what you asked me at the start, like what do I do with people when I am working one-to-one? You know, we all have our gifts. We all have a thing.
Yeah.
I do tend to develop a trusting energy.
Yeah. Well, I
With-
did, you know,
Yeah.
I kind of trusted you straight away, to be honest, you know.
You did.
No, I did, in fairness, like,
Yeah.
you know, because I get, like, I'm not saying I get readings of energy, but I do, like, when I kind of get energy off people and I'm like, oh, they're not really for me,
Yeah.
that kind of person. And I felt like, with you, I was like, oh, no, she's,
Yeah.
you know.
And back to what you were saying about the loop and the story and the repetitiveness. You were caught in that loop.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever heard of Eckhart Tolle.
No.
So Eckhart, The Power of Now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that book, The Power of Now, Eckhart talks about the pain barrier, that all humans have a thing called a pain barrier. And when you pass that threshold, you're no longer running the show. Your pain is. And I knew that that's all that had happened to you.
Yeah.
You'd gone past the pain barrier and we just needed to find a way to safely bring you back. And then, do you remember when we used to meet in the hotel?
Yeah.
And about what Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches,
Yeah.
when you repeat this story, you become chemically addicted to it. But your
Yes.
genes recognize it. So if you're constantly repeating a story from the past,
Yeah.
you are vibrationally placing yourself back into the frequency and the vibration of what happened, who was involved, and when
Yeah.
it happened. And
Yeah,
that's
because I remember at that time I was telling this story a lot, like, do you know what I
yeah,
mean? And
yeah. It was a loop you were in, but you're so quick to learn, and you like learning, you like studying, and you understand your mind.
Yeah.
I just had to find the language that you understood.
Yeah.
So when we used to do the little diagrams and
Yeah,
all,
yeah, yeah.
like within 2 weeks,
Yeah, I was in the Castle Knock
did-
Hotel. Remember
you
in the
you
lobby?
didn't
Yeah.
bring that story back up again.
Yeah, no,
because
'cause it was-
when if you're trying to build your future, and you keep repeating the past, the story, genetically, energetically, when you wake up in the morning, you wake up in the past.
Yes. Yeah.
So when I got you to stop activating
Yeah.
the old story, the old energy, and it was very important for you that you are validated, that
Yeah, that
I
it felt
heard,
heard, yeah.
I let you know I hear what happened.
Yeah.
We're not going to take away who's done what to you because it was wrong.
Yeah.
But we're just not going to activate that for now until you get a little bit of time under your belt.
Yeah. Because I think I was just trying to spin so many plates at that
Yeah.
time because of all that was at the happening to
There
me.
was
Do you know
a
what I mean?
lot going
Outside
on.
the accident, you know,
And
obviously a lot of
there
people
was
don't know and
things
they can't
being
really
thrown
talk about
at you
it too
from
much.
left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
So we just needed to get your shield back on.
Yeah.
And within a week or two of you figuring out what was at the saying to you,
Yeah.
you were flying then.
Yeah, no, it was. It was just like there was just so much going on at that stage in my life. Do you know what I mean? Outside the accident,
That you
and
didn't need.
Yeah, you know, and obviously I still to the day can't really talk about it much.
Yeah.
Until I can come out and talk about it, you know. But yeah, it was just my life was absolutely hectic at that time, and you know, so many people think it was just about the accident, but the accident was the smallest
That
thing in my life at
yeah.
time. Yeah, yeah.
One day you'll probably get the whole story,
Yeah,
but the
yeah.
accident, which was brutal,
Yeah, but it was
actually
such a
turned out to be the small
smallest
piece
part,
because what
yeah.
was happening behind the scenes,
Yeah.
like it could have lost you.
Yeah, definitely. So you say that people don't really recover from trauma. What do you mean by that? They just learn to adapt to it.
When they don't have the opportunity to recognize and walk through it is the perception that you live from so your perception, how you see the world, it's from your internal world. So if internally you are still in that childhood trauma, or if something happened to you, you are abused or your heart broke or cheated, if you're still living from that place, your perception of the world is skewed from that pain.
Right, okay.
And it's only when you start to heal that internal stuff that your perception of the world changes. So that's why me and you see the world, we don't see it as a lack. When our friends build businesses, we're like, yes, like we're all making it.
Yeah.
Because we're full inside.
Yeah.
Our perception of the world is very different than what it would have been a long time ago.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think that can only, like, if you've been through something kind of catastrophic in your life, do you think that can only come through healing?
Say that again.
Like, as in, like, if there's people out there who've been through, like, very catastrophic things in their life, like, I don't know, abuse or, you know, like a really heavy breakup or whatever, they can only start to kind of really see the world in a certain light after they have healed or addressed all that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so your perception is how you see the world. And your internal world is a reflection. Your external world is a reflection of your internal world.
Yeah.
So if you don't like the external world that you're living in, that's because you don't like your internal world.
Right, okay.
So think about manifestation and the subconscious and all that stuff, that your outer world is a reflection of your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, everything inside. So when that's good internally, then externally is good. So we're in, like, the world, sorry for my language, the world's a fucking shit show at the minute. It is. But you can still look at this world with hope and see the goodness in it.
Yeah.
Because my perception is internally inside me is good.
Yes, okay.
I live on it in a gratitude energy. I'm still grateful.
Yeah.
But if you're not gratefully inside, or if you're not coming from that place of fullness inside, this world will be a very dark place.
Yeah.
And you'll attach to the news all the time. You'll watch everything. You'll become obsessed with this and that. Did you hear this? And watching and celebrities and all that stuff
Yeah.
where we've no interest in that.
Yeah.
We want
Why do you
to...
think so many people focus on the negative? Like in just in life in general? Because there is so many people like that, isn't there? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, because I know, you know, I can only-
Negativity validates your story. And it validates the lie.
What do you mean by that?
So we all have, at some stage in our life, a story, what happened to us.
Yeah.
And we that becomes our identity.
Okay.
The victim mentality. It's the great lie.
Right.
And I can't let this go. You know, we get a need met. And I always say, so when I'm working with somebody and they do have an experience or a story that is the big picture that they keep going, you know, I always ask them, like, what need do you get met by keeping this?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that validating in you?
Yeah, but I think it's, for me, I think the reason why people like to hold on to that, and I just think it's because it's uncomfortable to have to let it go and walk through it.
Yeah, there's a big fear there.
Do you know what
Huge
I'm saying?
fear, yeah.
So people like to hold on to that, like, oh, I am a victim,
Yeah.
and, you know, none of this is my
Who
fault.
am I without it?
Yeah.
It's very scary.
Yeah, it nearly
it's very
becomes,
scary.
I believe, like, sometimes when I see certain people, it nearly becomes their identity. It's part of
Yeah.
who they are.
Yeah.
You know, because this is a story that they've told themselves every day, you know,
Yeah.
whether it's, it's, you know, there's no, how was I ever going to grow up
Yeah.
any different way? Sure.
It's almost like an addiction, because even when you smoke a cigarette, the chemical, you get that hit, you get the addiction, I need another cigarette, another one. When you have an emotional reaction, it releases chemicals in the body, like the dopamine and the serotonins and all of that stuff. So if you're constantly repeating something and you're getting that hit, Joe Dispenza teaches this all the time, that you become chemically addicted to that negative story. Yeah. Your body is looking for it.
Yeah, because we did, like, you know, we all know people who was like, oh, sure, how was I ever going to turn out any different way? Like, look at where I grew up, look at me ma, look at me dad, look at people in my family, you know, it's all their fault. Like, I was never going to go any other way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Instead of taking kind of ownership and going, no, I can absolutely go a different way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Something happens, doesn't it? Something happens. I always talk about this. I was very blessed to have the gift of desperation.
What do you mean by that?
So, me living in this world, since I can remember, I never wanted to be here.
Okay.
I would always think about not being here, what it would be like to just not be here. And when I had I said, okay, I remember, like, it was like, right, you can't leave this world because she's going to end up in addiction and going through all of this shit that you're going through. So I need to just white knuckle it. And if I have to be here for another 60 years or whatever for her, that was the way my mind was. I was like, right, you're just going to have to white knuckle it, get the medication off the doctor and just numb it out and just do the best. Yeah, just do what you need to do. Get into college, figure this shit out. But somewhere along the line, that energy and that, okay, just hold on, was tinning. And it was tinning and tinning. And that gift of desperation is when you just cry out. You're in that place of pain, just that emotional, spiritual pain. Something, please help me. Someone, please help me. Like, I'm lost. When you have that realization. And I don't think a lot of people have that. What would you say? It's like, it nearly is a gift, isn't it? To hit that, to allow yourself to go to that, such a deep place within you, like, please help me.
What, you don't think that it just becomes like a breaking point for people?
Yeah.
You
would nearly wish that breaking point on people, because we know what's on the other side of it.
Yeah.
You're nearly wishing that. And that's why I work so well, is that I would have been very codependent for years, and I would have always sabotaged other people hitting that rock bottom because I was trying to save everyone. you know,
Yeah,
relationships, friends,
yeah.
family. I was always trying to fix everyone because it kept me busy. And
Yeah.
if I'm fixing them, they need me.
Where if you kind of had to just let them go and
You
hit
have to
rock
let
bottom,
people hit the
they
rock
would have
bottom.
realised, oh,
And I think I learned, especially in 12 step and within my own shadow work, that if I was able to hit rock bottom and not die and get through it, other people can't trust
yeah,
that they
but
have that.
do you think that it's a worry with some people? Because I feel like probably a lot of the times with people, when they hit rock bottom, that's when, you know, maybe they kill themselves, or maybe that's when they go on really heavy drugs, and then it's very hard to come back from a lot, you know, well, there's no coming back from that.
No, there's not. And I think I would have experienced so much from the age, I'd say about from up till the age 22, 23, I probably had about at least 10 suicides around me in between Blanchetown, Finglas. Like, it just became rampant for a couple of years. Like,
Young?
yeah, all young, like early teenagers. And then that's what drove me to work a lot with the suicide awareness in
Okay.
Dublin 15. So, and I always credit, so my best friend Kevin, he took his life. He was my first experience with suicide, and Kevin was 19. And when he took his life, you know, all of us were like, who gave him the drugs and who said this and that? But we all did it. We all did that, and I was like, that's not why he done it. Somewhere in me understood. I couldn't articulate what I felt, but I understood why he done it. I felt like on a soul level I understood, and that was the catalyst of me going on this deep dive of trying to figure out why we do it, what happens, why are we all fucked up, why are we all traumatized, why is no one helping us. And that was the journey of me going into study addiction, to study community development. Everything that I do today all stemmed from that experience with Kevin. Something clicked in me, and I have this real inquisitive mind. I like researching and I like digging, and we'd experienced so much death in the estate that we were growing up on, but nobody was coming in there was no like key workers,
Outside
there was no
resources, yeah.
outreach, nothing like that. So I just took it upon myself to
And
go and
like
figure this out.
you do like work with a lot of people and stuff, like, you know, how can you kind of see whether somebody's really walked through something that they've been through, or else they've just learned to suppress it better?
Oh, when people suppress things, you can see it in their behaviours.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see it.
But you know, like if they're at the suppressing it for a long time, even still, you'd still be able to see it.
You'd see it. It always comes out in Freud. We learned this in college. Like, Freud always talked about it, and Carl Jung talks about it. Like, when you suppress something, it will manifest in a different behaviour. So you'll notice somebody who might have a problem with addiction, and they stop taking drugs, but they might manifest into gambling or sex or women or
okay.
men or food. It will always, so things that you suppress, like if you are suppressing maybe something that happened to you years ago, you'll see it in like a controlling behaviour or a specific thing.
So would you say really any form of addiction is something being suppressed?
I'm just trying to think of my own experience
Yeah,
there.
no, of course.
To me, addiction is spiritual.
Okay.
There is a hole in the soul, and you will go to the ends of the earth to fill that void, because it's so painful.
But like you will probably use kind of things to escape
Yeah,
from it.
from what you're experiencing.
Yeah, like, you know, like whatever you are trying to suppress that you're probably not even aware of.
Yeah,
You know, like maybe people using, like what you're saying, like other people to use, like, you know, say for instance, like some people use drugs to, you know, to escape from things. Some people use food, gambling.
yeah,
Other people, like men, women. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you think like that's where that comes from, that, you know, people like just want to escape from the problems.
They want to escape what's going on
they use
internally.
other things to escape the problems. What, do you know what I mean? That they're
Yeah.
going through is what I mean.
Yeah, they're just trying to escape from what's going on internally. It's usually a deep-seated wound.
Yeah.
There's an abandonment.
And what
a
about
rejection.
what about like people who aren't even conscious of what the actual problem is?
Yeah, you will
'Cause
never
it's
know
so
what the
deep
problem
rooted is
is
what I mean.
until that's when the therapy and the sobriety. It's only then you start to peel back the layers. Like it's so
Yeah.
complex.
Yeah.
It's never just one thing. Oh, that's it. There's usually complex layers of stuff going on in people.
But it's so mad, isn't it? That like it's like that cliche thing where it's like, so you know, it always stems back to the childhood.
Yeah,
You know.
it all starts in the first 0 to 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because I know Aristotle, he said, you know, he used to talk about from 0 to 7 all the time, and he was like, I think one of his quotes, I might get it wrong, but he was like, "Show me the boy and I'll show you the man."
Yeah.
You know, because it stems from 0 to 7, you know, but I think a lot of people aren't even conscious of, you know, and even probably myself, I probably do certain things and have certain habits because of stuff that happened in my childhood
Yeah.
that I'm not really aware of.
Well, they say that if you have an experience within the first 0 to 7 years, so if something happens, and it doesn't always have to be something big, it can be just a few different occurrences, but if something happens within the psyche, within the first 0 to 7 years, and it's not dealt with, it's not walked through, then that's locked in. And it will only be walked through then in your adult years.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
your foundation. It's
Yeah.
your perception, what I said at the start, how you see the world.
Because that's the, you know, maybe what you've seen from 0 to 7 is the lens that you now see the world through.
Yeah, well, the
know,
brain
even
wave
as an
change,
adult.
the brain state changes
Right.
as well. You change every 7 years.
Okay.
So whatever happens in those first 7 years is like your blueprint. You're locked in now.
Right.
That's how you will see the world. And that will only be undone then, if anything is there, through adulthood, through therapy and podcasts and
Right,
all
through
the stuff.
walking
Yeah,
through
all
it,
the
yeah.
walking through it, yeah.
Yeah. It's, you know, because I am fascinated by the whole kind of like what happens in the first.
So a
0
lot
to
of the
7.
work that I do now with people is when I'm doing the birth charts and stuff, and especially when people come to me with goals and businesses and all of that stuff and procrastination. When they're working on their goals, you know, when you're working towards something, you're going to face your fears. You're going to face a lot of stuff that tells you can't do it, you're no good.
Yeah, that
and all,
voice.
That voice, yeah. But that voice is the inner child.
Okay.
And depending on what you, this is the part about astrology that blows my mind. I'm so obsessed with it. Depending on the year you were born, you hold a particular soul wound. So not the date of birth, but the year you were born. Each year has a generational wound attached to it. So I was born in 1983. So I've a Taurus. It's called your Chiron wound. So I was born into a generation where, think about what was happening in the 80s. There was poverty. There was a lack of safety in the world. So I never felt safe in the world. And what have I been talking about this whole time? I couldn't figure out how to live. I never felt safe. I have a money wound. So when I'm working with somebody and I know the year they were born, I can check. And that's what'll come up and that's what holds them back. It's fascinating. It does blow
Yeah.
me mind. So that's why I bring the personal development and the soul work into what I'm doing. And the results that people get is phenomenal.
You know, and with manifestation, like people are obsessed by that now, but what's kind of stuff that you generally see that people get completely wrong with manifestation, like?
Maybe that you just write it down and act a certain way
Yeah.
and things are going to come.
Yeah, because I think...
Like a surface level.
Yeah, because I personally believe, like, you know, that everybody talks about The Secret and stuff, you know, and The Secret is great, but one kind of thing that I actually didn't like about The Secret, that I was conscious about when I was listening to The Secret and stuff, was they don't really talk about the work ethic and the action in it. You know, like for me, The Secret, it's great and stuff, but it talks about like just how kind of that you can think about stuff and all the abundance.
Well, they
and,
left out. So there's different laws. The laws of the universal laws, the law of attraction, law of manifestation, the law of one. But they left out the fourth law. So everything that they're teaching in The Secret, Bob Proctor is in the film. He came out after it and said they left out a huge piece. It's the law of vibration. That's the fourth law.
Okay.
So you can write down everything you want. You can visualize all you want. But if you're not in vibrational harmony with it, it can't come in.
Right.
The law of vibration is the first.
what do you
the law of
mean by
attraction
that?
is like a secondary law.
What do you mean by the law of vibration?
So we all have a particular vibration, and your goals are on vibrations. It's like I see by frequencies and vibrations. So if you're like what we're talking about, like carrying these. So your vibration is your emotional state, your vibrational field, your energy field. And if you're carrying like shame, guilt, fear, if you live in a life, in a vibration where you're mostly operating on lack, fear, anxiety, poverty, all of that stuff, you will vibrationally match with other things to validate them experiences.
Okay.
So if anyone's listening and they would love to create something in their life, they'd love to bring something into their life, you have to become vibrationally matched to that. And that's when you start to really practice the gratitude, the different emotions, the joy, the happiness. You bring the vibration up, but you have to learn to hold it. Like what we were talking about, people who have that victim mentality or keep going back to their story, they keep reverting back to that low vibration.
Yeah.
So you can't manifest something that's on a frequency up here and you're still operating on a low vibration. So the law of vibration is it's the fourth law.
Right, okay.
You can only attract in that what you are.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes complete sense, because
So if you're listening, or if you're having where you're like, this always happens to me, or this same relationship again, because you're on that vibration, you're calling in people and experiences of the same vibration, and they're trying to wake you up to move up the vibrational ladder, to stop repeating the same, stop being with the same people, stop speaking those same conversations.
Yeah.
So that's when the aha moment, what we were talking about, that something has to change here.
And you think for people that's just trying to get out of, like, if the circles that they're in is not really serving them, they just need to be getting out of them sort of circles, I think.
Yeah, you know, when you just have to let go, you're like, this is not for me anymore.
Yeah.
You know, that them parties or those people or the gossips or whatever,
Yeah.
it just doesn't match. I don't feel like I fit in there anymore. That's when you know it's time to go.
Yeah.
The universe is trying to bring something else in.
Yeah, because I know with me, like, I would be very, very, very conscious of the kind of people who I choose to spend my time with. And if they're not adding to my life, or I don't feel like they reflect, like, my beliefs and my morals and stuff like that, like, if we're not kind of on the same wavelength, like, I'm just like, why would I give me energy to...
Yeah, it won't work. So I've learned through my own pain and my own blind spots that every time I lower my vibration to meet somebody where they're at, they show me why I shouldn't have done that. I get hurt.
Yeah, okay.
And not because they're bad or I'm better or any of that. If somebody's operating on a low vibration, they have motive. There's always a reason. They're always looking for something.
Yeah,
and they play it well. And I carry a deep loneliness in me all the time. I would have experienced a lot of loneliness in my life. So I would keep people in my life, or really try and hold on to friendships and relationships, because I didn't want to feel lonely. And that's why I would get hurt a lot.
Yeah.
because I don't have motive to take from people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I understand.
So I had to stop that, and that's one of the biggest lessons I learned in the last few years. Every time I lower my vibration to meet somebody else where they're at, they
And
always
doesn't
show
serve
me.
you well, yeah.
They always show me why I shouldn't have done it, and then I
Yeah.
can't give out.
Yeah,
When
'cause
they
it's your
do
yeah, 'cause it's your
rob
fault,
me
essentially.
business idea or they
Yeah.
stab me in the back,
Yeah, 'cause-
because that's the way they operate.
Yeah.
It's my own fault.
Yeah. And, you know, you talk about like higher awareness and kind of consciousness and stuff like that. But for somebody who's like kind of just surviving day to day,
Yeah.
you know, how can they even kind of change the way they think about trying to be conscious or, you know, about stuff like that, because they're just in survival mode all the time? What would you say to like people like who's kind of just going through life like we were talking about earlier on, like autopilot?
Yeah,
You know, just trying to survive every day.
yeah. Pray,
Pray. Right.
prayer.
Right.
And if anyone's listening, and when you hear the word prayer, you might get a little bit of a resistance to it. Prayer is just words. We're in prayer here. It's conversation.
So what you mean, like it doesn't have to be religious per
Yeah,
se?
just if you can start to change the narrative in your mind a little bit at a time, the prayer, the faith, and just asking, if you're in a position in your life where you're just completely powerless, you can't get out of it, then there has to be a power greater than yourself.
Yeah, okay.
So if you can find, even if you're like, I'm just going to try this, see what happens, little bit of faith, and
Yeah.
just ask. Because I always say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And when you pray and ask for help and guidance from a different energy, a different frequency, the teachers that are waiting to guide you and lead you will pick up on that and come into your life. Like me and you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
we
the time
just,
was-
it was
yeah.
just divine intervention.
Yeah. And do you think like people chase, you know, kind of like spiritual experiences instead of changing their habits and their relationships
Yeah.
because that's more difficult?
It's very apparent now because the wellness world is so popular. It's a thing now, but you'll see it a lot that with plant medicines and stuff, people will keep taking this ayahuasca and this cambo, and I'm at to do this 10 times and this 10 times, and they've been on the kind of drug scene for a long time. They've just swapped. And I have a woman in my life, she's a shaman, and I've sat with her in ceremony, and after the ceremony, after taking the medicine, Jesus, my vibration went through the roof. I had one of the best years of my career after taking that. And when I crossed paths with her again, I was like, yeah, I'm going to take the medicine because I got this feeling from it. And like, it was like, yeah. And she said to me, you'll never sit in my ceremony again with that attitude. And I was like, oh, what? What do you mean? Like because I would never want to disrespect my teachers. It's been bet into me like your teacher, regardless of what you think or whether it worked out or not, you respect your teacher's time. And I was like, shit, what am I after saying? Like, I'm so sorry. And she says, you're chasing the high.
Right, okay.
And I was like, oh, I didn't even see it.
Yeah,
I didn't
right, okay.
even see it. And when she pointed it out to me, I said to her, I'm so sorry, I didn't see that. I understand what you're trying to say to me now. I get it.
Yeah.
And she said to me, now you can sit.
Okay.
Now you can sit. Because
Yeah.
you'll see it.
Yeah.
You sit with medicine to learn to sit with yourself. But that's what medicine does.
Yeah.
You sit with medicine to
But do
sit
you
with
think,
yourself.
like, going back to what we were saying, like, it's just, for a lot of people, it's
yeah.
just another form of
Escape. Yeah.
instead of actually confronting what they should be confronting
Yeah,
in their lives.
it's very, I don't want to say rampant, but that's what's going on. Because you have to remember the wellness community, especially in Dublin, Ireland, it's very young. It's at its infancy stage. It kind of just kicked off from COVID lockdown. So you've got people who have only been trained a little while and are holding space. And not that they're bad or good or any of that. It's just very much in its infantile state.
Yeah.
I think I'm just lucky that I had, like when COVID hit, I had a good 12 years of working on myself under my belt. So I was able to hold space for others safely.
Yeah, because you've been open talking about like the negativity within the wellness industry, really. You know,
Have I?
yeah. Well, I've, like, you know,
What have I said?
not in a bad way, like, you know what I mean. I've just, you know, nearly like going back to like what we were talking about there earlier on about just, you know, kind of being in the infancy stage, and I think like there's not certain people, but there's a lot of groups that think that they have it all figured out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they really don't, because it's still quite young,
Yeah.
you know.
And do you know what? There's a guy who does the CA Cabra meeting, the Cocaine Anonymous Cabra
Okay.
meeting. I don't know if he's still there, but when I went in a long time ago, John, he explained to me to always remain teachable, always remain the student. So I will always have a teacher.
Yeah.
I'll always have a mentor.
Yeah, I try
Even
like
though
that.
I know a lot, I know fuck all about this world.
Yeah.
None of us do.
Yeah, well, I always say
I
I
might
just,
have a bit of time under my belt, but I know fuck all, and I'm happy with that.
yeah.
Because I'm open to learn, and I'm open to.
I know, but you know what does kind of like, what would you call it, like does, like it's so humble to even within yourself to admit that to yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, cause I be like have the same attitude, you know, like.
Now, my
I'd be-
human mind will tell me I know everything, and I know
Yeah,
how everyone
of-
should
of
be.
course,
but
but-
I know better.
But when with the ego, when you drop the ego, it's like, all right,
Yeah.
just like I always even say about myself, you know, I know enough that I know fuck all.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm just
Keeps you humble.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
conscious that I'm like, or I just know enough that I actually recognise that I know so little about the world.
And I remember studying in the fellowship and studying the literature and learning. Like, I never knew what the word humility was or what it meant. And basically, I remember one of the lads just saying to me, 2 things will happen in life, Jen. You'll either be humbled or you'll be humiliated.
Right.
And I remember my whole life was a humiliation ritual. I was always humiliated.
Why? Because you thought you knew more than you did? Or why do you think that was? What do you mean by that?
So I would be humiliated in relationships. I was
Right,
abused.
okay.
I was cheated on. But I was always humiliated in the sense that everything I touched, I fucked it up.
Right.
Everybody left me. I wasn't nice to be around. Nothing stayed. And my life was a shit show.
Right.
So I know, when they said that word humiliation to me, that I felt that. And I was at a stage in my life where I was done. And I didn't want to be humiliated anymore.
Like, that was a you problem at that time?
100% a me problem.
Okay.
And I remember them teaching me. That's what I was like, well, what does it mean? And how do I not? How do I humble myself? Stop thinking about yourself.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So humility, what was it they said that? It's not thinking about yourself. It's just thinking about yourself less.
Yes, okay. Yeah.
And especially with an addict mind, it's always me, me, me.
Well, it's a lot of the world, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
because we're
Yeah.
programmed to think about ourselves.
And as well with social media and stuff, like being working in the wellness space, as an energy worker, as a healer, I have to be so on the ball with my mind because I have to stay humble. I remember someone telling me, Jen, leave the spotlight for those who want it.
Okay.
So hang back.
Yeah.
Hang back, just leave the spotlight. And I'm very much on my whole platform and everything I do. It's not me, it's we. It's we, it's us. Let's all figure this out. And that keeps me humble because I don't want my ego to ever think it's all about me.
Yeah.
Because it's not.
Yeah.
I'm
And
here.
how do you help people grow without becoming dependent on you?
I tell them to go out and have new experiences. Like, I have people who come to me who've been students for years, and I'll say to them, you need to go off now, implement what I'm after teaching you. Go on off and make your mistakes. Figure it
You
out.
just need to get like life.
You need to go out now and
experience.
have a bit of life experience. And when you're ready for the next phase, come back to me. You know where I am. My door's always open. And I have students who come in and out, some stay, some go. And I always encourage everyone, try other teachers, listen to other people. I don't live in a lack anymore, a lack mentality of like, oh, she's gone to that teacher, like I won't get paid, or the money or the numbers or the, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah.
No, because when somebody leaves, there's always another broken soul. That's it does.
So I think it's having confidence and faith in your own ability, because you know that, you know, what you have the best interests and you're really good at what you do. So eventually they will come back.
And I've often said to people, I actually don't want you to book in with me. I'm not accepting any payments off you for at least 6 months.
Right.
Because I do notice that when there is an attachment, I'm trained in it. So I can see that.
What do you mean by that?
So if somebody is coming to my events and my retreats and my classes and studying with me, they book onto everything.
Right, okay. Yeah.
And I'll notice it. And then I'll say, if it's healthy and I'm watching them grow, then that's okay, that's fine. But I am very aware of somebody, if they're not progressing and they keep booking in, because you do become attached to your teacher. And you learn, and that's probably what's missing in the wellness space, is that I'm very lucky that I've trained with some of the best clinical professionals in the country. Like my whole background is working frontline mental health, the hospitals. I've worked with some of the best clinical teams. I've always had supervision. I've got degrees. I've got more degrees than I don't know what.
I'm trained in an oven.
Yeah, I'm trained in group dynamics. So I know what comes up in a group. I understand transference. And just for anyone that's listening, if you are holding space, even if you're a PT, if you're a fella and you're listening to us, go and Google transference. When you spend time, when you sit one-on-one with somebody, or if you're in a group with people, it becomes your family without you knowing. One person will represent your sister. One person will unconsciously represent the father, the brother, the uncle. The family will come out. Okay. And if you haven't worked on your stuff, and somebody is sitting, and especially if someone's sitting in front of you that might have experienced something that you did traumatically, if you haven't worked on that and processed it, that will trigger you. And you don't give guidance from an objective space. You give it from your wound. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's
I've never heard
now we're gone into the whole psychology of.
Yeah, because I never heard that term before. What's it called again?
Called transference.
Transference.
Yeah. Okay. So you're transferring your stuff. It's getting confusing. I can't differentiate my experience to yours.
Yeah, no, I just actually never heard that term before. It's very intriguing, actually.
Yeah.
Just learned something new.
Kind of know a few things.
Yeah. What do you think's not spoken enough about healing trauma?
Being qualified to work with someone's trauma.
Right, okay.
There's so many people out there holding space now that are not qualified to work with trauma. You can teach a class, you can do like easy things, but I do know that there is a huge thing happening in the wellness space that they want to bring people into their trauma. And I'm like, the amount of people who come to me who have been re-triggered and re-traumatized from other experiences, like it's regular. Yeah. So, and I always tell everybody, if you're going to book on with somebody, if you're going to train with somebody, ask them.
Yeah.
Who did you train with? How long did you train? What's your background?
You think too many people in the wellness space is just kind of giving it a go in a sense?
Yeah, and I think it can become a bit of a trend. You add on stuff and you want to heal people. So a lot of people who haven't done their own healing work will want to heal others, fixers. And it just becomes a really, really dangerous space.
And if someone's going through a really bad place now, mentally and emotionally, whatever, like what would be one kind of takeaway that you could give them to help their life starting today?
Tell somebody.
Tell somebody.
Yeah.
Like reach out.
Reach out. Yeah, take a chance. Even your doctor, your GP. Like all of my early kind of mental health breakdowns and experiences, it was all clinical supervision and doctors that I had at the start. I think I've been through so much stuff that, you know, like all the wellness stuff. To me, that's like I don't want to sound dismissive of it, but to me, that's like a tree almost on your healing journey, because all that stuff wasn't around when I was going through stuff. Like I've had to white knuckle a lot, you know. There was no cacao ceremonies. There was nobody hugging you.
Yeah.
Wouldn't get a crystal or essential oils. You're thrown
you just
into...
had to bite down on the gum shield.
Oh, Jesus,
Yeah.
The fucking...
Do you think that's beneficial sometimes, though? To like, not to not tell people, but like, just kind of try and go through life and walk through it as you're going along.
But don't do it on your own.
Yeah, like as long as you're telling people, you know.
Go and find a good therapist, like somebody who knows. If you're listening to us and you're in a really dark place, and your mind is telling you just to check out, then that kind of stuff needs safety, and that needs your doctor and a therapist and people who know how to hold you in that. You know, and if you're going through just a change in your life and a breakup and you're lonely and you're isolated, find a group.
Yeah.
A running club, an MMA club. Find your tribe.
Yeah.
Because that's where you'll feel you're connected again.
There's definitely a lot to be said for community, isn't there?
Oh, humans need connection.
Yeah.
And I think probably why I did so well after COVID is that when the lockdown happened, I had just started teaching by chance. I never even wanted to be a yoga teacher. And when all of the kind of studios and everything just shut down, shut shop, I was like, what the fuck? Like, you can't leave us.
Yeah.
We need each other. This is meant to be, I didn't understand. I was like, this is meant to be wellness. I was like, no, fuck this. Like, we're sticking together. We're going to figure this out together. The last thing we need is to be isolated and disconnected.
Yeah, because I notice I am somebody who likes to have a little bit of my own time, but I really don't do well without like community and connection with people.
Our heart coherence. We need that. We need that humanness. We need touch. We need eyesight. We need like love and laughter. We need connection. So if
like, when you hear people talk about like their social batteries that they're running out.
Mine has been gone every day.
I need that. Like I get energy from when I'm around people. Like, you know, it's like sometimes
and
when
I learned something there the other day. I have an interest-based nervous system.
What does that mean?
So if I'm interested in the topic or the discussion or the group, I have energy and I'll keep going. Like, see, like this now, we're just flowing.
Yes.
Like, I love these conversations.
Yeah.
I love deep diving into the workings of the mind and why we are the way we are. Like, this fascinates me. We could be here all day, Adam.
Yeah, buckle up.
But if you start asking me questions now about something that I have no interest in, my nervous system will switch off.
So what do you think about the Beckhams? what do you think?
Do you know, even saying that, I feel the pain in my head already.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about that? Will we talk about that for a minute?
What, the Beckhams?
Yeah, and just in terms of human behaviour.
Right. Go ahead.
If you want to know where you are on your journey, we probably get bleeding slated for saying this. If you think you're awake and aware, and you're still loving and obsessing and stalking celebrities and
engrossed in their life,
you haven't even cracked the surface yet.
Yeah, I do believe that.
When you see them for what they really are and how they live behind the scenes, I would not want to align with that kind of energy.
Yeah, well, it's not even that. Like, it's just like they're all human too. Do you know what I mean? Like, celebrities, they're not. You know, I've been around so many, like, I don't even consider people celebrities, but people who you would see on TV or films or big fighters or whatever, and it's just like the more I think what a lot of people don't understand is the more time you just spend around them, they're just the same as you. You
Yeah.
just
What's
are
that
on it.
saying?
I tell you,
Don't meet your idol.
your heroes.
Your heroes, yeah.
Don't meet your heroes.
Don't meet
yeah.
your heroes.
Yeah, that's not been my experience too much. Like, I did meet a couple of big fighters and thought, like,
They're
you're
good,
a dickhead.
Oh,
You know?
really?
Yeah. Yeah, there was, I won't mention his name, but I went to a gym in California and man was like, I remember growing up watching this guy and was just a great fighter and, really liked his personality when I'd see him talk on the TV. And I went to a gym in California and met him and I was like, oh my God, you're a wanker. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Don't meet your heroes.
Yeah, no, I know,
Yeah.
but I was saying, but what I was saying was that hasn't been my experience for the most
Oh, for
part
most
when
of them, yeah.
I've seen people of like
Yeah.
kind of like
But I think what we're starting to learn about this whole celebrity lifestyle and what you have to do to get into it and all of that mad stuff, it's just
now
it's
they're
a
gonna
whole
go down the Hollywood
it's a
cabal
whole
there.
yeah, it's a whole different energy that I'm just happy not to be. So again, for what you said about manifestation, if your subconscious creates your life and you're constantly consuming, everything that you consume creates your world.
Well, again, for me, it's just another form of escapism because
Yeah.
I mean, if you're over there watching the Kardashians and watching everybody else's life, you're not taking agency for your own life.
Yeah, I like that.
You're not fixing your own problems.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, and it's and it's like I'm very mindful. Like my whole Instagram algorithm is all things that I like that enhance
Yeah.
me and make me feel good, and all like if you go onto my For You page, it's just saunas and retreats and land and houses and all the things. Like it's almost like my vision board.
Yeah,
My
I
phone,
completely agree, yeah.
I'm addicted to social media. We
Yeah.
all are at this
Yeah,
stage.
yeah,
I
yeah.
keep picking the phone up, so I
Yeah.
try and make it
as
somewhat
healthy as possible.
as
Yeah,
helpful towards me.
I agree. I only have stuff like that on it. It's just like positivity after positivity
Yeah.
after positivity because maybe I wasn't even conscious, but I've kind of trained it that way because
You
that's
train
what
the
I
algorithm. Yeah.
that's what I interact with. So obviously when it understands this is what he's interacting with, we'll push more of that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just constant like positivity and
And then
positivity.
sometimes like somebody will send me a reel or something and I don't even want to press play and I'm like, what is your algorithm? It says a lot about people,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
That's what a group chats, 100%.
Don't be sending me them ones.
What would you say, like, probably a bit of a personal question, but even after all the personal work that you've done kind of
Yeah.
still creeps in on your life? Are you conscious about anything like that?
Yeah, so I know the next phase of my work is becoming emotionally available for a partner.
Okay.
That's the next
And you
piece
you
of the journey.
You don't feel like you've hit that level yet within your own life?
Not that I've hit that level. I've had so much pain. I needed a good time to heal. And I find I build a lot when I'm single. I've really built the last 5 years. I've built a great life. And I wouldn't want someone to come into my life while I'm building because I still had a tendency to make it all about them. And I was very aware I was codependent. So I've done a lot of work around that. And I have an attachment, I have an avoidant attachment thing as well. So when somebody comes into my life, if they're not, if they don't know how to communicate, I would struggle with that.
Yeah.
So I'm very much okay with waiting for somebody to come into my life that doesn't trigger all that stuff in me anymore. But also, I said all last year, I was like, right, once the sauna is built and open, I'm grounded again.
Yeah.
And this year, I would be open now.
Yeah.
I've never said that before.
Yeah. Because I think the right person could definitely enhance everything you have going on in your life.
And
isn't
I
it?
want them to
share that
yeah.
them experiences with.
And I want now that, like, this is the best version of me that's ever existed. Like, this is genuinely the best, healthiest, emotionally healthiest version of me. And I know what I'm like when I'm codependent. I know what I'm like when I am not healthy.
Do you think there's a fear there still in you that you would not go back to that person, but because you're codependent, like, you know, if you did bring someone into your life, that old version of yourself would probably come back out?
Oh no, I've done so much work on her. She's there. I'm so aware of it. But I would like somebody to come into my life that's really healthy in themselves.
Yeah, okay.
And I've learned, like, with the victim mindset, I know the damage that I can cause somebody.
Yeah, okay.
So I was happy the last few years just building, healing, working on all that stuff, so that when someone does come into my life, I don't want them to experience that other version, that unhealed, that desperation in me. And now that work is done, and it's been done a while, but I was like, I'm okay.
You also don't want to have to bring somebody into your life that will probably feel that you will need to fix also. Because
you couldn't even get a cup of tea out of me anymore. I will not be fixing nobody.
yeah, but in a sense, not to fix people, that's maybe the wrong term to use.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it is, in a sense,
I'm not attracted to it anymore. Whereas for a long time, for years, I would have been attracted to somebody who's broken, because my mind would have said, "Oh, fix them and they will need you. And they'll stay."
Yeah,
and I wore myself out, like I destroyed myself doing that. So you couldn't, if somebody came to me not in their masculine energy, I feel it straight away. And that's why people just be like, you don't even give people a chance. It's like, because I know.
Yeah.
I foresee what's going to happen
Is
here.
that like a kind of an energy thing you feel with people?
It's all energy now.
Right.
I know it. I will know within 5 minutes of having a conversation with somebody what they're holding. I'm very intuitive as well. I've all this psychic stuff going on, so it doesn't help.
So you just kind of need to have a conversation, and you're like, but that's it, I suppose. That's a really good thing for you, isn't it?
And even as I'm talking to you, I'm also aware that does keep me safe.
Yeah.
So I call myself out on my bullshit as well, because I'm going to have to let people in and not be so quick to dismiss it, because no one's perfect. I'm
No, of course.
But I have got these walls, which I'm aware of. So my not a challenge, but I suppose the work for me this year is letting someone in a little bit longer than I usually would. And it's okay.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no.
Just to give people a chance now. I think I'm ready.
Yeah, but I think in relationships, specifically, like, people really need to have, you know, not that anybody needs to do anything, but it helps, I think, when you have clear indicators in what you're looking for in a person.
Yeah.
Do you know, I think,
and I know that now, whereas I never knew before. I would have settled for that and just don't leave.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would have been, not obviously only since I've got way more mature at it, I would be very conscious of what I expect out of another person.
Yeah.
You know, because I know that, you know, I'm what I would give to them.
I know now what I bring to the table.
Yeah.
And me and Mia, my daughter, we're a duo.
Right, okay.
And I know now that if you come into our life, like, you're going to have a really, really good life with us.
Yeah.
And whereas I would have just thrown that at somebody who didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
And then I did meet somebody, like, I was in a relationship for 5 years with somebody. So for the first 2.5 years, that was my last relationship. For the first 2.5 years, we were great. We were such a happy family. Then his son died, and he just went, he lost himself, he lost his mind. He went down a really dangerous addiction road, and I had to leave. I had to leave him. It took me 2 years to learn to leave, because I know what I'm like. I stay. And so, how long's Darren dead now? 3 years next month.
Right,
4
okay.
years next month. His ma will kill me if she's listening. Sorry, Mary. It's gone out of my head. But it was still quite fresh.
Yeah.
And to lose him, he did pass away, and I needed a little bit of time after that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Well, like obviously a very, very, well, probably I would say the worst thing to go through to lose a child.
Oh,
Do you know,
God.
for
10,
him, I
10
mean.
years his son was,
Yeah.
for 10 years he was
Graham,
sick.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely guy. I met him once or twice,
Yeah.
you know. And I just remember, you know, when it happened, and yeah, it was just like the love people had for him, I remember.
Oh, so much
Yeah,
love.
I remember that.
People are very good. You have to say, like, when something happens in Dublin, we kill each other, we've political differences left, right and centre. But when we come together for
Yeah.
fundraising and
Yeah.
support, my God, we blow it out of the water.
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
really
we're-
do.
we're great like that, you
We're
know, because-
great, yeah.
Yeah, I
But then
do.
when we do well, we pull each other back down.
Yeah, crabs in the bucket. Like when life gets overwhelming for you, like what do you personally fall back on?
Oh, my spirituality for sure. When life gets overwhelming, it's so basic with me. I just put my feet on the grass. I know that sounds mad. I get into the cold
Like
water.
grounding yourself?
Yeah. I have to ground. I'm a Taurus. I'm an earth sign. I have to ground myself. Like Epsom salt baths. All of my clients, like they all do this now. Reiki is a huge thing. I was receiving Reiki for 12 years before I trained, and I'm a Reiki master.
Okay.
So Reiki is a big part of my life. I don't do one-to-ones, but it's very much a daily thing with me. It's my protection.
Right, yeah.
Must do a treatment on you. Do you ever get Reiki done?
No, I actually didn't, but I heard someone tell me it was actually really good.
I'll do a session
Yeah.
on you. Yeah.
But what do you mean by Epsom? I use Epsom salts. Well, not really too much anymore, but we used them to actually cut weight and fighting.
Yeah.
But I've never just had an Epsom salt bath. No,
Wow, so-
just for relax. Maybe I'm gonna be honest. Maybe it's because I have PTSD from cutting weight
Yeah.
for fights. So I actually don't enjoy baths. So I wouldn't just go,
Okay.
or I'm gonna go into a bath and relax because it
Yeah,
brings me back
it brings you
to
back.
probably not good times when I was cutting weight cutting weight for fights.
Yeah.
Because
It's quite brutal, isn't it?
people have just now, like people, when you go in and fight on the night, that is handy. That is the easy
That's
part.
yeah.
The cutting the weight is, I've had awful experiences cutting weight. Well, I mean, nobody has good experience
Yeah.
cutting weight, but yeah, the Epsom salts
So
just
the
brings.
Epsom salts is one of the best tools for cleaning your energy.
Okay.
Yeah, an Epsom
Right,
salt
okay.
bath a couple of times a week, especially when we're getting this heavy, intense energy coming in. If you're around a lot of people, you feel stuck. Epsom salt baths, it clears your energy. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I never actually heard the like I said, it's probably
Oh,
my
all the woo-woos
PTSD.
know it.
Yeah. So you like grounding? Would you do that often?
Yeah.
Would grounding would be something you would do every day? Would you say?
Yeah, I have to do something every day. If I
Right.
don't, I'm all over the shop. And then, because I'm always down at the beach, I'm always at the sauna. There's always something.
Yeah, you're always outdoors.
There's
anyway,
always
aren't you?
something available to me. Yeah.
Yeah, and before we wrap her up, tell us a little bit about your new business and how you think it helps people. Because we actually haven't talked much about your business, to be honest.
Well, I do a few different things.
Yeah, but the sauna and stuff.
So I've just
That's what I
opened a
meant,
new sauna.
specifically.
And shout out to Kiefer, because someone loving Dublin or something put up the top 10 saunas in Dublin, and we're not on it yet. And he kept
Yeah.
commenting.
Yeah. Well, you're
The sauna's on a
relatively
vape.
brand new, though.
Brand
aren't you,
new,
in
3
fairness?
months.
Yeah.
3 months ago, we opened up the
Oh.
sauna. It took me over a year to build it. And like what we were talking about before we started, all the blocks and the challenges and the growth.
Yeah.
If you want to work on yourself, if you want to do personal development, start a business.
Yeah, I completely, yeah.
I think entrepreneurship is spiritual.
Yeah.
I 110% believe that working for yourself is a spiritual journey. You're gonna face
I
every
know, there's just so many obstacles in it, isn't it?
yeah, and you're gonna face every lack and belief and limiting belief you have about yourself. It's gonna come up.
And it's one of them things as well, isn't it, that like, for a lot of it, there's just so much out of your control. Because I remember when we were talking, when you were going through, did they send you the wrong ice baths or something? Was that what it was?
everything, yeah.
Yeah,
They
because I
sent
remember
all
you
the
were
wrong
really going
stuff and
through
the
it at that
money
time.
and
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember you're up the wall at that stage.
Up the walls, because I was to fly out to Africa a few days later, and I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and they sent you the long ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
but what an amazing facility.
What, the now?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
loved it when I was down there
Yeah,
last
it is
time.
top of
Just
the range.
even just the scenery. Do
Yeah.
you know, just like the way it's on the beach and stuff.
I always wanted to have a space, and I have a few dodgy friends. I grew up in madness, and
Yeah,
I
we
still
all
have.
have,
I
yeah.
still have friends who are quite active in the madness, but like they're my pals. And when I opened the sauna, he sent me a text message. I sent him 4 years ago when I was teaching yoga and renting studios. Every time, because I was quite successful with the yoga, my classes were always full. Anytime I had a studio, after a couple of months, they'd be like, oh, we want more money. We want this. Even one fella wanted an extra €2 per head for every person. That I was like, fuck, it's 30 quid an hour. That's what you're getting. You're not getting all these extras. And I remember texting my friend, I was so sick of it. And I was like, I knew we had land and horses and all that stuff. And says, if you got a bit of land that if I get a few quid up, we stick a studio on it, can I just teach from your field in the back arse of England? I was like, because I'm done with this, I'm sick of it. And he sent me that message just when I opened the sauna. He goes, you've always wanted your own place, Jen. He goes, now look what you have. He goes, it's better than that you ever imagined.
Yeah.
I wanted to build a place where my students can grow from now. So I have 2 of my students who've studied with me, trained with me, they work for me now. I have another student who came to my yin yoga class. She's now doing the sound baths down there. And I want to help young teachers, new teachers, build their communities. Because I'm good at building stuff and communities. And I wanted to build somewhere where I didn't have to teach anymore. Let other people have their time, but I'll teach them how to build it. You know, I like that bit. It makes me, I never really get envious. I did a lot of work on envy in myself with other women and jealousy and stuff. I get so much satisfaction when I look at somebody that I've helped and guided stand on their own 2 feet, build their little platforms, like have people coming up to them at the end of their classes. Like, I love watching that. That fills my heart.
Yeah, it must give you so much fulfillment to see that. But knowing that, like, you're at the helping someone reach that point also.
Yeah, I played a little part. That's a nice part.
Yeah.
That's a nice feeling. Yeah.
You know, definitely the guidance. But yeah, no, I think it's definitely becoming more popular. The kind of the sauna and the ice baths and stuff
anywhere
like that.
anytime
Yeah,
soon.
I think it's I love it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I would try and do at least a couple of months. You know,
You are like sauna connoisseurs, and that's why I was waiting on you to come down, and I was nervous for you to come down because I know you were going to give me honest feedback.
Yeah, but I know, but you know what though, it's so important because, I mean, like even with the podcast, I only want people who's being brutally honest, because if people aren't being honest with you, especially the people who you can trust, I mean, how do you even get better? Like I would never, you know, listen to somebody give me feedback about this or something else in my life, constructive, like, you know, because we all have, you know, there's a lot of people who just love to chime in for the sake of chiming in, and haters,
I love
like
the chimers.
low-key haters. But people who cared about you and give you constructive feedback, that's my favourite, because I'm like, oh, thanks very much.
Yeah.
Like, I'll actually go about changing that.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
even when Thomas come down with Kiefer, like, he's
Mr.
brutally
Thursday.
honest.
Yeah.
And he was like, I was like, oh, like I was waiting to see what the 2 lads were going to say, and they were like, Jen, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And because you don't need bullshitters, you need people to tell you straight. Because if I felt something, I would say it, but it'd be coming from a place of love, because I will tell you honestly because you're my friend and I cared about you. But you need to bear in mind there's so many customers that wouldn't come and say that to you.
Yeah.
But they're feeling it and they're going like, or I'm not coming back here because of X, Y and Z.
Yeah.
Do you know?
And I think, probably because I do use saunas a lot myself, and I've been using them and hosting me events and all that. I like the extras, and I like when people come to the sauna. I hate when you're in a sauna and they open the door right out. That literally triggers my nervous system. So I try and just create a space where it's so chilled.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. That's true, because there's specific saunas I will go to in Dublin because they don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be honest, like Helios, brilliant.
Yeah.
The Helios never, like, I love going to Helios.
And shout out to
because-
Helios, because I did a little bit of market research,
Right.
and I asked so many people, what's your favourite sauna and why do you like it? And I genuinely thought one or two others would have got it. But
Yeah.
everyone said, and all of you all said as well, Helios.
Yeah, I love
and
Helios.
I went to Helios. It was the welcome I got.
Yeah.
And the staff.
Yeah, they're so nice.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really feel like a transaction. Even though, look, it's
Yeah,
all
it's
business. We're
business.
all in business to make money and whatever. But they don't make you feel like it's a clock in, clock out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
On a
Like, if
conveyor
you're-
belt.
Like,
Yeah.
obviously, if you're sitting there for hours taking the piss, then that's a
You
different
have to
story.
get up.
But I'm saying they don't make you feel like, come on.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
And I want people to have an experience. And I'm so
Yeah.
blessed with the facility because we have the hotel, we have the gardens, we have the beach.
Yeah, there's
that
everything there.
You don't just need to get into your car and go.
Yeah.
You can chill, you can have
Yeah.
food, you can do the cliff walk. We've loads of car park space.
Yeah.
I'm really selling this here to anyone that's
No, but it's
listening.
so, like, you know, again, like, it's, I can vouch because it's so nice, you know, like,
It
obviously
is,
I've been there, and like I'm saying that, like, I was there.
I
and
lost
the night,
I lost some of the roof off me changing room the other day, so apologies to anyone who's down this
probably
week.
that's good job I
We've
wasn't.
a few buckets
Where,
out.
where was it that got flooded the other day? Did you not see all the floods the other
Nutgrove
day?
and
Nutgrove, Jesus Christ. Those cars just floating. Good job I didn't blame come and take your sauna away. Your sauna just floating down, me still in it.
Yeah.
Me, Thomas and Kiva, drinking toast.
The good tours, yeah.
No, but thanks so much for coming on, Paul.
It's
That
been
was a great
great.
chat.
Yeah,
I
I'm
really
so proud of you.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, Val.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much, everybody.